From Tally to Cali,
It's time
to wake up.
Wake up!
warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by
Vitamin Energy.
The vitamins.
The energy.
Now here's warchant.com's Aslan Hajavandi
and Corey Clark.
Wake up! It's Wake Up Warchant presented by Vitamin Energy. Coming up on today's show, the shock is starting to subside somewhat, so now we wonder how the future will unfold for FSU. Which coordinator did the better job in 2025, and how aggressive should FSU be for a quarterback in 2026? Wake Up Warchant presented by Vitamin Energy, vitaminenergy.com, Warchant BOGO, Black Friday going down while supplies last. And I should have put the piece of paper in front of me here, Corey. We've got a lot of double XLs. We've got few XLs, few larges. I don't think we have any small or mediums. But if you order 5 or more boxes of Vitamin Energy using the promo code WarchantBOGO, send a screenshot of it to me. I'm going to go ahead and mail you out one of these awesome, sweet black Nike polos that are branded with the Vitamin Energy and Warchant logo. Again, vitaminenergy.com, WarchantBOGO, the promo code Black Friday. Put your orders in on Friday. While supplies last, we'll get those polos out to the folks that place 5 orders, or I shouldn't say 5 orders, an order of 5 or more. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. We, too, have a Black Friday deal that's right around the bend. 50% off an annual membership, everybody. For real. That's the best thing that we've done in at least a year. I don't know if we did one last year. I don't remember doing a Black Friday. I tried to block all of last year out of my head, Corey, but 50% off starting on Friday. Put that on the Christmas list, kids. Get your own subscription. Get off your dad's membership, man. Stop using the dude at the Delt's house login. Get your own. Well, if you're a student, get it for free. But anyways, enough of that, Corey. Well, I should say enough of that. That's the lifeblood of us. How are you, Corey? How you doing, my friend?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. How are you doing? We're getting so close to Thanksgiving.
We are.
You can almost taste it.
You can. SVP the other night kind of went on the warpath against pumpkin pie, and I was mildly offended. I love pumpkin pie. I mean, I'm not. It's the middle of March. I sure would love a slice of pumpkin pie, but man, that 4th Thursday in November. Come on,
okay,
man.
All right. I'm not a big sweets person anyway, and I'll be honest with you, I've never had pumpkin pie. I've never wanted it. I've never thought to eat, let me sprinkle some gourd on a pie. It's not my life.
Incredible.
It's not what I do. But I'm not a sweets guy anyway. I'll eat an apple pie or a strawberry pie, but that's about it. I'm more of a donut. I'll take a donut. Give me a Thanksgiving Krispy Kreme donut. Not a sponsor, but should be.
Right. All right, let's get to it then. So I was surprised. So on Tuesday, we got head coach Mike Norvell once again, and then we got Duce Robinson. We can talk about Duce here, I guess, in a minute. Anything from Mike revelatory or worth starting the show off with today, Corey?
No, we talked about it on headlines, and I started thinking about it. So that off week after Stanford where they came out and said we're going to reassess or we're going to do a comprehensive assessment of the football program, there is a chance, I don't know if it's true or not, I mean, there is a chance that at that point they were thinking he was going to stay. I mean, I don't know what he did in the final 4 games that would guarantee that he should stay, but he was going to stay. And the comprehensive assessment meant, Mike, what do you need from a support staff point of view, from a recruiting personnel department point of view, to get this thing in order? And we will announce all those changes after the season is over. Do you think that's a possibility? When they somebody brought that up on headlines, like maybe that's what they meant with comprehensive assessment, is how the whole program works, how the whole structure is organized, and they're going to change it. And maybe he's been doing that or thinking about that for the last 5 weeks. Like, because it can't be, I mean, it could be, it would be preposterous that if this was the case, that everything is just about coaching football over these last 4 weeks, just trying to make this 2025 team achieve something. And then at 8:30 on Saturday night, he claps his hands and rubs them together. It's like, okay, now let's get working on what we're going to look like next year. Like, he's got to be thinking about that, right? Like, what it's going to look like, who's he going to bring in, or who are they going to bring in and tell him he's working with? Like, all that has to be being talked about right now, and I hope that it's been talked about for weeks at this point. You can't wait until now to start doing all this. It's almost December.
Why were they not thinking about this a year ago? What changed to where this is now necessary?
That's a fair question. I think, but
He keeps saying that the sport has changed over the last 3 years, and especially this last year in particular. But I can't imagine. I hope you wouldn't be so blindsided that in November of 2024 to now November 2025, like, holy smokes, I need all this. I need this whole grocery list of things. I can't imagine it's changed that radically.
Yeah, I think I don't know how much it's like, hey, Mike, what do you need? Or more like, hey, Mike, this is what we're going to do. You don't really get a say. I don't know what those conversations are like, and it doesn't matter why they didn't do it last year. They didn't. Here we are now, and the question is, what are they going to do? What is going to be different? What is this new structure that they talked about? What will that look like? Or legitimately, is it just going to be a couple different coaches? Like, because that wouldn't solve anything. Not just for Mike Norvell's tenure at Florida State, but for the future of college football. You can't just keep operating where the head coach is the end-all, be-all and runs everything. That's not how this sport is going to look in 10 years, in my opinion. So get ahead of the curve. Get yourself if there's a GM you believe in, if there's a personnel department person you believe in that you think can modernize this thing and turn it into something that can evaluate and develop better than what you're doing now, get that in place. So then if and when you do fire Mike Norvell after next season or the year after that, you'll still have that in place, and it will be much easier to keep the thing going where you don't have to blow everything up because the head coach left. Like, it'll be more like an NFL team. Like when Raheem Morris gets fired, I know I keep using the Falcons as an example. Let's use, I don't know, man, the Commanders. If they fire Dan Quinn, well, the GM's still there. You're just getting a new head coach, but the roster's still there. The way you get the scouting department is still there. The GM is still there. The vice president of player operations is still there. You're just getting a new head coach. I think that's the future with college football too. So maybe Florida State's already starting that. But I am desperate for information on what that's going to look like, and there has been none given to us so far.
You know, the cynic in me wants to kind of scoff at the notion that we're going to change everything. Like Florida State University, we're the school that's going to shift the entire paradigm of the way you look at college football in terms of your organization, your leadership, paying your people. Like here, we're the ones.
Don't we think Oklahoma already started that? Like, I don't think Florida State's like on the they may be on the cutting edge, but I feel like Oklahoma was the first one to do it. Florida State's not breaking through the door or breaking through the wall, I don't think.
But in terms of, I would imagine, even if this thing, I don't know, actually, you're probably not going to reduce his salary. But I guess the point I was trying to kind of pivot to then was the people that have made this decision ultimately, the leadership, the administration of the school, they did sue the ACC and win, right? Like that was an improbable task, right? Ironclad, grant of rights, no way you can get out of this thing. So, but maybe there's a little bit better in a courtroom than they are in a locker room. That's, a little bit of my concern, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, I get it. You're right. I mean, Oklahoma has done this, so we're not going to be pioneers necessarily, but I just, again, like I'm just very surprised, very disappointed that this is the solution when this is something that other people apparently were doing last year. We're getting in the process of doing it. He mentioned that he's got this network of coaches and people he can lean on and talk to. Man, none of them were like, hey, Mike, I know you're bringing in Gus and a coordinator, but you might want to think about your front office first and foremost. That's, again, it's a very difficult place we find ourselves in. But I understand why they're doing it. I don't agree with it, and I don't think you agree with it much either, but this is what they feel they have to do. So.
And whether we agree with it or not at this point, and Lord knows we hashed it out on headlines, but
how'd my boy Jeff do? Did you guys wear him out, or was he?
No. I pushed back at the thought of, he's like, where are they going to get the money from for this roster you want? And I'm like, well, then where were they going to get the money from to fire Mike Norvell? And he's like, well, that could be finance, and it's not like you have to give him $60 million check. And I'm like, I know,
yeah.
but
he's right.
The money that you're saving by not giving him and his staff $15 million this calendar year to go away, you could put in your roster. I was like, and my point was, he's like, well, people don't want to give money to do that. They don't believe in him, which is perfectly understandable. But then they would rather spend their money on somebody not to coach. Like, they care enough about Florida State football to give the administration money to fire someone, but they don't care enough, those same people, to give Florida State football a really good roster? They so don't believe in Mike Norvell that they think that even if he had the best roster in America, he'd fiddle around and F it up? Anyway, so that was what I was pushing back on, is the thought that Florida State's not going to spend. Florida State will spend. They might not spend Texas Tech, Ohio State levels. They will spend especially in the conference they're in, they will be one of the top spenders. There's no doubt.
They already are, though.
I know.
Well,
not? Right, but they will be, and they might give more. It would make no sense. Jeff's point was like he thinks that they're not going to. I guess more accurately, my point is you wouldn't bring this guy back and alienate most of your fans. Michael Alford might be one of the least popular athletic directors in the country right now. I don't think there's a mite about it after this decision. We'll see what people think a year from now. He was very popular 2 Januaries ago when he signed this guy to the extension. Now he's not. We all get it. It fluctuates. And Mike Norvell is probably the least popular employed head coach in the country. I don't even know that there's an argument there. I don't know what fan base is angrier at their coach than Florida State's.
Ole Miss.
And with good reason. Oh, yeah, you're right. Hell, until he puts on the Ole Miss hat during his announcement ceremony, his signing day ceremony. But, so it would make no sense to do this. Because this isn't the easy decision. Ira brought that up, and I think it's true. The easy decision would have been to fire him. That's listening to the fans. That's placating the fans. It's all understandable, and we don't need to rehash that. But you don't make a decision like this and then get cheap when it comes to giving this guy all the resources he needs to succeed. It doesn't compute. Like that just seems illogical to me, and irrational to be like, we're going to make this decision. But it's a very unpopular decision, and then we're going to keep this guy that most people don't think is good at his job. Well, nobody thinks he's good at his job right now, but could be good at his job, and then not give him resources to succeed in a really good roster. I think they're going to up the ante. Me personally, that's what I would do. Whatever we paid for our roster this year, I would add to it. Right? Wouldn't that just make sense?
Obviously. Yeah.
But Jeff's argument was nobody's going to give money. Where are you getting that money from? I don't think that's accurate. Like I just don't. We'll see. I think there are a lot of Florida State fans that even if they don't believe in the coach, they really like watching their team win on Saturdays, and they don't think it's a waste of money to give to this administration or this football program to get the best player available. Jeff's counter is, well, who's deciding who the best player available is? Because this guy isn't great at evaluation. All that makes sense. But anyway, I do think there is going to be more money spent on the roster. I wonder, though, if the concern I have is, what is this going to look like? Because my hope is they've been planning this for weeks, not days.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
But I think you're cynical that it's and I think a lot of people are, and maybe rightfully so, that it's just been days. They just decided Saturday morning, look, we're keeping them. We're going to make some changes. We got to decide what those changes are going to be. Right now, we'll just talk about the fact that we are going to make changes, but we really have no idea what we're going to do. I would be much more encouraged if I knew for a fact that these talks had been taking place at least since Stanford, and maybe before that.
I mean, I'm just cynical about the highest paid employee at this university is losing more responsibility and is going to have less accountability over like what is on that field.
What do you think? Jeff and Ira think there's a decent chance that if Gus leaves, Norvell is back as the OC. Would that make you feel better?
Is that a trick question? No.
No. I legitimately, I know you've wondered aloud since they hired Malzahn. Well, what is he doing? What's his role? Yeah. And I think he's struggled with that, honestly.
Well, he bragged about it a little. Well, I shouldn't say brag, but he mentioned that he had time the other day to talk to a guy through some things he was going through off the field, which is like, we get it. That sounded cool. We thought you were going to do that, and that was going to make everybody play to the best of their ability, but didn't really work out that way. But continue.
Yeah, and so I wonder about that. Like, number one, it saves money, and also, other than 2024, which was a big other, Norvell has been. That's why he's here, because of what he's done offensively. He did have the number one offense in the country at Memphis, or top 5, or whatever it was. And then at Florida State in 2021 and 2022, I thought he was exceptional as a play caller when Jordan Travis was the quarterback. I know that's That's kind of it's a nice crutch to have as Jordan Travis your quarterback. But mainly when McKenzie Milton wasn't his quarterback, when he had somebody with two capable legs. He had a good offense in 2021 and 2022, and for portions of 23. 2024 was a disaster. Now, it wasn't a disaster because of his play calling. It was a disaster because of his roster. But I think he could be a fine play caller.
Oh, man.
But if you're Jeff's point was like, and this is what always happens. It's literally I just got back from headlines, everyone. That's why it's all fresh on the mind. Is he thinks Norvell kind of lost his way and his mojo because he feels like he has nothing to do. And he's not servicing anything.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's as motivated, he's as energetic, he's as engaged.
Maybe, but he might be wondering, like, what are you doing here, man? Like, why don't you, if they're letting you come back, why don't you say, I'm taking control and I'm opening practices? I know. And that's not a joke.
Oh, no, I don't care about that. Don't
no,
say
I
that
know you don't.
People think that
I know you don't, and
that.
I don't either. I would rather Ira go to all of them. I don't care if he opens up practices, but that was a tenet of his program. And that was something he believed in wholeheartedly. And then when he hired Gus Malzahn, decided all of a sudden, no, we don't want that anymore. I think he just kind of lost who he is, which is going to happen when you go 2-10. Deservedly so. You question everything, and you're more willing to make changes to what you foundationally who you are. And I think looking back, he probably regrets most of this. It didn't help much. The fan base is irate with him. Nobody believes in him. They didn't have a good season. He made all these changes about who he is as a coach and what he believes in, and the fact that he's not even calling plays when he's like 43 years old. He's not 70. He gave up play calling duties, and for what? For them to go score 11 points against NC State? Chrome and Hawk on QB sneaks could have done that. So what he's got to be wondering, like, what did we do with all this for?
He's in the
I want it back.
He's in a Gus Malzahn spiral. I mean, that's what Gus would do at Auburn. 1 year was I'm calling plays. Next year was like, I think it's best if I don't call plays so I can be a coach. Then the next year was like, well, actually, no, I need to call plays. That's my best attribute for this university. So, sure. Yeah, I mean, he wrecked the car on the side of the road. You were riding shotgun. You got out the car. You fixed the timing belt. You fixed everything up. You got the car back on the interstate, and it's kind of moving in a pretty good pace. Like, all right, let me get behind the wheel again. Yeah. Like, no, sorry, man. We got to get to our destination. And we're going to let you be in the car for the destination. And we're going to let you get out the car and hoist the trophy and point at everybody. Be like, ha, I told you. But yeah,
I wonder, though. I do wonder, like, when they talked about that, I was like, yeah, I guess he could be like, well, look, if I'm going to go down, I want to go down doing it my way because this way didn't work. And if you believe in yourself, you believe in yourself. Yeah. Now, he'd have to convince some people that I get to be the OC again. But he did have some success in his career as an offensive coordinator. That is who he is. And he might regret a lot that what he did this year. Because, again, like I said, it didn't work out. So maybe that's part – but also I don't know if Gus is not coming back. We're just assuming he's not coming back. But maybe he is coming back. We'll see. More than anything, I hope Tony White comes back. I really do. I would like to talk about that, Aslan, because it's been a lot of negative with good reason. And we touched on it a little bit. But don't you think it would be a really good development for the Florida State program for 2026 football season if Tony White was the defensive coordinator?
We'll see how they look like in Gainesville.
Oh, come on, man.
Don't let it be one.
Don't let it be one game.
No, man.
Do you believe in the guy as a coach or not? Is it going to come down to one game in Gainesville? Or do you believe what you've seen from week 1 to week 11?
What is that? That's a 3-8 team with an interim coach that's way in over his head. And I don't know how many of them are really going to be all that engaged. It's their last game ever, as a seniors in the swamp. But at least you've got like bowl eligibility on the line to give you a little bit more motivation. Hey, if they can't come out there and win and they don't look good on defense, like I'm okay with him leaving because I'm more about the young nucleus core of guys that will remain here if he does leave. But I'm not pushing him out. But I'm sorry, man. The Florida game still matters to me to a certain extent. So yeah, I would use that in my calculus.
I'm not saying it shouldn't matter. I don't know if it should dictate employment. That if your defense doesn't play well,
right? Well, we shouldn't even play in games. We shouldn't even play the games. The wins don't matter. It doesn't matter if you win. It doesn't matter if you lose.
But I mean, they lost on Friday night. Was that Tony White's fault? Was the Stanford game Tony White's fault? Was Clemson Tony White's fault? Like, that defense has been much improved, and it's actually gotten better as the season went on. Now, if it takes a dip against Florida in some dumb end-of-the-year game where it's disgusting what this game has become, really, for both programs. It's crazy. There's 8 wins combined between these two programs. Florida State's had a better year than Florida, everyone. Think about that. Like, that's how meaningless this game is. It's cool that they would get bowl eligible, but I'm saying, like, if you're an administrator or if you're a head coach, but I'm just asking you as a person. You've watched this team. You don't think he's a good coach, and you think if Florida scores 30, see ya? Let's run it back and get a whole new scheme in here with a whole bunch of new players?
You just said you're a better team than Florida. If they hang 30 points on you, yeah, man, like, I'm sorry. That I wouldn't fire him over it, but I'm not going to sit here and think that his WAR is 1.5 if he returns, and if he leaves, then we're going to maybe miss out on the conference title game. I don't think it's that important. I really don't.
Let's just say I disagree.
You disagree, that's fine.
It's fine. Hey, grown-ups can disagree.
Yeah.
But my point that I was trying to get to before I asked you that question, and you sidetracked me because that was a surprising answer, was I think Tony White's good at his job.
He is.
I think he's good at his job, and I think he's one of the better defensive coordinators, at least in the conference, which is good. I think he's a step up from what you had, probably a significant step up. And I also think that personality and that persona and that person, it's good to have those types of people in your program. I think he is a guy that demands respect. I think he's a guy that those dudes play hard for. I don't know what happened against Pitt. I thought that was a disgusting effort. I thought that was their only really poor effort of the year. Maybe Virginia, too. I thought Virginia was just missed tackles. But Pitt, they just didn't look like they wanted to be there. But since that Pitt game, they've been by far the best part of this team, and they've gotten better. Even on the road, they've somehow managed to play well. Wouldn't that be awesome if the offense could do that? And so I like that guy, and I would like some stability because I do believe in that side of the ball, the young guys on that side of the ball. And I think that has been, if there has been a positive on this season at all, it has been the development of those younger players. Number one, I believe this guy knows what a good football player looks like and can identify it. Yeah. It is amazing to me. I don't know how much Jabril Rawls played last year.
Yeah.
I know how much Earl Little played last year. And what in the world? Tony White wouldn't have let that happen. Now, they weren't going to be a great defense no matter what last year, but I can promise you 11-0 would have been on the field a lot more because he knows what real football players look like. Like, he identified those guys off the jump. And that gives me hope of him looking at people in the portal or looking at guys on his own roster and saying that guy's going to be a real one. That guy's got the chance to be a really good football player, or he's an NFL player. When he's talking to us about Jabril Rawls being an NFL player back in August or, I don't know, March.
Spring maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, man, what? Earl Little is him? What? That Earl Little? And now Earl Little's not going to win the Thorpe, but Earl Little's an impact football player. He's a good defensive football player.
He's a very good college football player.
Yeah, and who knew that? So he identified it. So just his evaluation, and I like the way he carries himself, man. I like the self-belief he has. This program needs people like that. Gus Malzahn believes in himself. I don't know how much those players converse with Gus.
Right.
I don't know if they're having a lot of good times off the practice field or going to him for heart-to-hearts. Tony White, man, I think Tony White is a guy that could be a real linchpin for this program for the short term until he gets a head coaching job. And I just hope they keep him around. He's also really fun to talk to. I know that doesn't matter to any one of you guys listening to this, but I think he's just been a breath of fresh air. I think he's a real human being that is also good at his job. And I don't know how many of those they have on that coaching staff. I think Tony White is a good coach, and it would be a benefit for him to stay.
I'll change my mind if you agree that if he does leave, no matter who they hire, unless it's Rex Ryan, you'd be like, yeah, I'm worried about the defense. I think they might take a step back there.
What do you mean?
Like there's a possibility that Tony White leaves. I just feel like Tony White could leave. He'll get replaced. And you'll be like, you know what? They'll be fine on defense. It's like, well, you just said 3 months ago that you're like, Tony White staying would be a really big development for the 2026 season. He's no longer going to be here, but that hasn't changed your mind and your outlook.
Oh, well, I mean, yes, I wouldn't get here and say, oh, they're going to be better. I wouldn't think that. I thought they were going to be better this year, and I was right. because I believed in Tony White and what he had done at Nebraska, and I'd seen those teams. But yes, I'd have to see the roster, obviously, but it's not that I'm going to believe in anybody they bring in. I believed in Tony White from his resume. Now, if they bring in Shulman to be the DC, or whoever the Ohio State DC is, who is the Ohio State DC? Isn't he a former?
Matt Patricia.
That's right. If they brought in Patricia with some of those players, yeah, I'd probably be hyping them up too. But no, there's no guarantee that whoever that's what I worry about is them taking a step back on defense. I do like what they're building, I guess. I have no faith in what's going on offensively because we don't know who's going to be here. I do have faith in what they're doing defensively. I think they've schemed up well. I think they don't give up huge plays. If you look at them, what I hate is the not a lot of 3-and-outs. So it's a little bit bend but don't break. It's a lot bend but don't break, honestly. But I've just liked how they played the last month. I think they're well coached. They're well coached. They don't have great talent over there, but they're well coached. And I think if you got this guy better talent to go along with the way he teaches and communicates, I think they'd have a chance to be one of the better. I mean, they're already top 25 in the country if you care about that thing. They're number 25 in the country in total defense. Like he was saying the other night, like, okay, yeah, we're top 25. He wants to be top 10. Yeah, man, have some goals and get him some better players, and I think he'd do good things with it.
But, I mean, he's got Darrell Jackson. He's got Jabril Rawls. He's got Earl Little, who's him. Ashlyn Barker's been a good player. But, yeah, I mean, I guess linebackers, they don't have anybody special there, and they don't have anybody special on the edge. But
and they don't have anybody at the edge, yeah.
But that's the biggest one. They imported somebody with them that they had really high hopes for, and he has not delivered
That's
at all.
been a problem. That's been, I think, the biggest swing and miss, especially on that side of the ball.
Yeah. Squirrel White.
Squirrel White. You're probably right. And Squirrel White's been injured. I guess maybe Williams has been injured a little bit. But, yeah, that was a big swing and miss, bringing him in because he's accomplished very little. James Williams we're talking about. It's been nice that he's made a contribution the last couple games, it seems like. But, yeah, that's been a big disappointment. And they've got to go get some better guys on that side of the ball. I think there is some proof now in what he's done conceptually where and there was where I was in Nebraska too. But when you're in the portal trying to get a defensive end and you show them this coach and this scheme and what they could be doing, like Stephon Thompson the other night, that's a really nice game by him out of nowhere. Yeah. He's a forgotten guy. He hadn't played in a month. I think he had 11. Did he have 11 tackles and a sack and a half or something? Like that was a really nice game that Stephon Thompson had. And you could go get guys better than Stephon Thompson now that he's had a year here. But yeah, they're not a home run. I mean, it wasn't a perfect game, and they haven't been perfect. And there's some things I'd like to be better, but there's no perfect defensive coordinator. And more than anything, I just that personality, man. I like that personality, and I think I could be wrong, but I think the players like it too, and I think they respond to it.
Respond to our call to arms, to action, to go to the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill any day of the week. But go watch your Noles take on the Gators in the comfort of the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill located at 2475 Appalachia Parkway. Corey and I cannot join you because we're going to be in the thick of it all at the Swamp, Ben Hill.
Hey, you could be there Friday night, though, Aslan, at Corner Pocket, watching not only Luke's team take on Texas A&M and Tampa, but then Brian Pinsky's soccer team in a pivotal quarterfinal showdown with upstart Ohio State.
The Buckeyes.
If you don't want to go to the game itself, which will be at the Plex at 5, I think it's 5 p.m., Bill will make sure that game is on a couple of TVs, even with all the college football going on. He'll make sure that Florida State soccer game is on a couple of TVs for you. So come up there and watch that.
Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachia Parkway.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Why would you wander around a warehouse store looking for paint when you could just swing by your neighborhood Ace? In addition to Ace's award-winning service, we have top-rated paint brands. Plus, our color matching technology allows us to match any color. So stop wandering and start painting. Head to your neighborhood Ace today.
In Crawfordville, your home convenience store is Ace Home Center and NAPA Auto Parts, located at 2709 Crawfordville Highway. Form and function, fit and futuristic. Ditch the old, clunky, stale wallet for a wallet from Ridge. Featuring premium materials for a premium feel. It'll be the last wallet you're ever going to buy because Ridge comes with a lifetime warranty. Oh, yeah, and free shipping. and a 99-day risk-free trial. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off at Ridge by using code WAKEUP at checkout. Just head to ridge.com and use the code WAKEUP, and you're all set. I like this thing, guys. I've got better lower body mobility. Is it because I haven't been sitting on a wallet for like the last 6 months, or is it because I've been doing a little bit more mobility workout at the gym? I don't know, but it fits right into your front pocket. Piece of cake. And I'm not skinny jean guy. Okay, let's be honest. Like, I know you guys think my fashion styles might be a little too flamboyant, but I don't wear skinny jeans. But I wear slim fit stuff, and it fits perfectly. So if you got the baggy stuff, piece of cake. Front pocket, all good. When you do your check before you leave the house, you won't have to tap the back of your back. You'll just be like, front pocket, I'm good to go. Check out Ridge, ridge.com. Use the promo code WAKEUP to save 10% off your order. We're back. It's Wake Up Warchant presented by Vitamin Energy. warchantbogo, your promo code. I don't know if I should ask you this yet, Corey. This would be like submitting your Heisman pick before championship weekend. Because we do Heisman after championship weekend, right?
Yes. I think you can start voting this weekend, though. This Sunday is when you can start voting, which was never made sense to me why anybody would vote with the most important game of the season still left to play. Left to play, I guess.
As we sit here and we reflect real quick, do you think the better improvement was made on the defense or the offense? I just ask because of kind of you don't poo-poo Gus Malzahn, but that was a very spirited advocacy done on behalf of Tony White. So who do you think did a better job so far?
Man, it's fresh in the mind. It's recency bias, but 11 points. Come on, man. Like it's hard to forgive something like that. Because of who it was against. That's the worst defense you faced since Kent State. And you scored 11 points. Why can't your team play well on the road? Why can't you go score points? Why is your quarterback looser with the ball now than he's ever been? He's getting worse. He's regressing. All that is a reason to not – but he's still done, in totality, a very good job. It's not been a great job. Hey, he's a Broyles finalist, by the way. I say finalist.
Stop.
He's one of 62 that have been nominated. He was the Florida State nominee, was Gus.
But he didn't get Tony.
Yeah, but there's 62 total.
All right, he's not a semifinalist then, yeah. So
No, I don't even know. He's one of 62 that are up for it.
He beat Alabama for you.
Yeah.
I mean, point blank, like you brought Gus Malzahn what, $2 million for a win over Alabama.
Sure. I mean, that was a fun night. I don't know if it was worth $2 million, but that was a fun day. He did improve it significantly. But in hindsight, again, I'm not dismissing what he did because it was awful what we watched last year. And let's not forget, he had to cobble. This was a brand new 11. None of these guys had ever played with each other, which again is an indictment of the former staff and the current head coach, that you had to go get a brand new 11 on offense. Like, not one holdover besides Mekhi Danzy, who they did not deem worthy of having the ball last year at all, which is insanity. But whatever. So he gets a lot of credit for making this an adult, competent offense. It's been frustrating, though, because it is better than what it's looked on the road. And the fact that it's moved the ball well every game, but can't get out of its own way sometimes, is what's most frustrating. But it's been better. It's been much better. I just think what I give Tony a little bit more benefit of the doubt is, number one, he didn't get the money that Gus got to replenish the roster. He went and, most of these guys were guys that were Noles that he's winning with. Like, look at, the Desir twins were already committed. Earl Little was already here. Rawls was already here. All these linebackers that are playing, except for, I guess, Herring and Thompson, but most of those guys were here. Darrell Jackson was here. Barker, Edwin Joe, they're all guys that he inherited. And he's still, Gus got to go get a whole new roster, a whole new offensive roster, which they desperately needed. So I think I give the slight edge to Tony, because he had to do it without I think they spent more money on offense, clearly. They went and got more bodies, more capable, proven Division I commodities on offense to raise that floor up. Tony had to do it with a lot of guys that were still here, and he made massive improvements, especially from Virginia to Raleigh. Similar offenses, right? Like, as far as production, And that defense looked so much better in Raleigh than it did against Virginia. It's looked really good since the Pitt game. And Pitt is a scoring juggernaut against everybody except Notre Dame. So, yeah, Tony's done a good job, man. They've both been good. They've both been good additions. But I think Tony is a guy that's, I've been very impressed. He's been very impressive.
Duce Robinson, first 1,000-yard receiver since Tamorian Terry, a.k.a. Scary Terry, back in 2019. We got to speak to him on Tuesday. Obviously, his pedigree being Dominic Robinson's son. Dominic Robinson of 4th and 14 Part 1 fame. 22-year anniversary. Shout out for all those who celebrate. Man, it's what an absolute joy to cover this kid. I mean, I know, we weren't. I haven't really been at the games, right? Like I watch most of these games at home, but just to be able to see what he's done, I'm so surprised, so pleasantly surprised, and so happy because he seems like a genuinely good kid that he was able to be the guy, right? Like you need 8 Duce Robinsons on your team. Like you need guys that have this innate skill set, these natural gifts, but can elevate their game and hit the ceiling that they possess and they're capable of. Like he's kind of like a Jared Verse, in my opinion, man. Just in terms of like freaky athlete, scratch the surface of what he could be, but then use the opportunity at Florida State to really take it a step up. And I'm not comparing Lincoln Riley and SC to Albany, but just in terms of what he's able to provide this. I think he should go to the NFL. Selfish, I hope he stays because I love talking to the kid. Just how awesome has Duce been this year, Corey? Because again, I don't know if I said it on a show yesterday or when we were in between interviews, but if you would have given me a menu of options on offense this season, like, Usman Kroma going to run for 600 yards, or Tommy's going to be a 800-yard rusher, or, you could give me all these options that would have happened preseason. And if Duce Robinson, 1,000-yard season, I would have been like, no, I'll pass on that one. And then sure enough, that's the one that hit.
Yeah, and he's been the brightest of a few bright spots. It's hard to encapsulate how enjoyable he is to cover. And there has not been a lot of joy in this program the last couple of years. But he's at the top of the list. If you watch his interviews, obviously if you watch him play, which matters most, he's good, really good. He's the 3rd most receiving yards in the country. He was not a Biletnikoff finalist, though, sadly. I did my part. I voted him. But it's the Lemon kid from USC. It's Jeremiah Smith. I voted for them, too. Maybe I shouldn't have. And then it's some kid from UConn. So Duce is not one of the 3 finalists, which is a bummer. But he's been very, very good offensively. But also just what a great representative and ambassador for your program. And what a great representative for his family.
Yeah, man.
Golly, his parents must be proud. And again, he might be a kid. I don't know why I have to qualify this. He might be a kid that just kicks old ladies in his off time. I don't think so. I don't get that vibe. He seems, and almost certainly is, the real deal. Just a genuinely good-hearted person and a good teammate and a good a player, like a coachable and talented and hard worker, like everything you'd want in a program. And a player in your program, and I think it would be, golly, that would be so big to get him back. And again, I'm not expecting it. I'm not predicting it. I don't know what I said yesterday. I think 33% chance. I feel like that's a fair number. Because if he comes back, what that means for your program, obviously, I bring this point up all the time, it makes your offense instantly better. It makes you, because you have one of the best receivers coming back. You probably have the leading receiver in the country returning, which is awesome for you and whoever the quarterback is. But also, like, the guys that watch him work, the other receivers in the program that are trying to become NFL-type guys, being around that every day is a really big deal. And unlike when they were around Jared Verse, like, it didn't matter how much, no offense, it didn't matter how much Byron Turner or Gilbert Edmond was around Jared Verse. They weren't good enough. But I think LaWayne McCoy or Jamin Boggs, those guys could be legitimately really good college football players, and it would be nice for them to be around a real one and see how a real one works and what he does every day. I think there's more talent. There's a few more talented players at receiver that could benefit from an extra year being around Duce Robinson. Mekhi Danzy, chief among them, too. Like, I just think it would help so much just the osmosis of being around a player like that, of that caliber, and to teach the younger guys what it's like to really work. So then, they could be their Duce in 2027. They could have seasons like that, or be really good NFL type guys. I don't know. I just think the more you can have those types of personalities and production in your program, not just for 1 year but 2, that's a really big deal. And I hope he stays. I hope you stay, Duce. What's it going to take for Warchant to convince you to stay, buddy? 7 figures, we'll make it happen. Get on it, Gene.
I mean, so we think they've spent $17 million of rev share on football, and you have 105 guys that you're paying.
But that's rev share. That doesn't include NIL.
Right. But again, now all NIL deals have to go through the clearinghouse.
Yep.
Like last year, this past year there was no clearinghouse. You could do whatever you had to do by hook or crook to get a guy on your campus.
Well, by rule, they all have to go through the clearinghouse.
True.
You don't have to follow the rules, everyone.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I do wonder, because when I spoke to Larry Williams a few weeks ago, he's the publisher over at Tiger Illustrated covering Clemson, Corey. He talked about, the disappointment they had in Clemson because, they thought they had all the pieces in place, staff-wise, talent-wise. He's like, there's 4 millionaires on this roster. And I think Klubnik, I think maybe Antonio Williams, and then Peter Woods and T.J. Parker.
Yeah.
So I just wonder, again, they bring an NFL guy, and you look at what an NFL payroll looks like, and we talked about it. What quarterback is number 1? Is it left tackle? Is it edge rusher? Is it receiver? It's those 3 are right behind nipping at a quarterback in terms of being the highest allocated position player on a roster. I wonder how much you overextend to a certain degree to keep Duce. Not to say that he is solely motivated by money. I don't think that's the case, but I mean, clearly if he gets a 4th or 5th round grade and you come back and you're like, well, we'll give you 2 commas to come back, probably that 33% probably goes 73%.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, it does happen though. There are NFL draft picks that come back and play another year of college. I hope he does, but I also don't begrudge him the chance of going pro. I'm sure that's been a dream of his, so go do it, especially if he doesn't know the quarterback's going to be, or maybe doesn't believe that this team will be any better next year. There's a lot of reasons to go. Just selfishly, like you said, I hope he stays. But, yeah, that's the bigger question with all this. That's a great question. How much do you pay someone how much do you offer someone like Duce or the Desires or whoever your quarterback is? You need to go spend on your quarterback now. Whatever it takes. If you believe in a quarterback, and I don't care if it's Darian Mensah or the kid from Cal or some kid from Western Carolina. I don't care. If you believe wholeheartely that that's your guy, go get him.
Can you clarify real quick that there's nothing out there that we're aware of on Darian Mensah? Because somebody in the comments section said that you keep bringing him up as an
just because I think he's the best. I think he's going to be, when they go into next year, he's going to be the guy that's talked about as one of the potential first round picks.
Right. Okay.
And he's been awesome at Duke. He's been really good at Duke.
Good Lord, man. They started off really rough. They lost to Illinois and someone else, but he's got nearly 3,200 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, and only 4 interceptions.
Yeah, man, he lit up Clemson. He's a really good quarterback. He's too good for Duke. No offense, Duke, but he is. I'm sure they used to say that about Scotty Barnes.
Oh yeah.
Why are we losing Scott? Who is it? Why is he at Florida State? I'm sure their Duke basketball fans were like that, but yeah, he's too good for Duke. So that's why I keep mentioning him, just because he's gonna have an offer thrown at him now. Now Duke can match it. Duke's got a lot of money. If he cares to stay at Duke, he'll stay at Duke because they can match. They have enough money to probably match or come close to it.
Maybe they sign him to a multi-year deal.
Maybe.
And those multi-year deals, I think, for most of these players, if I'm not mistaken, Corey, that you can sign a multi-year deal. You still can leave, but the multi-year deals tend to include the provision that if you do leave, you have to pay the university back
you're right,
all or some of the money.
But like in Ohio State, well, not Ohio State, but
he's from San Luis Obispo, California. So that's
maybe USC,
that's central,
but that
that's Central California. But
I feel like that kid's a young kid, the USC
Maeva,
quarterback.
Jaden Maeva. Yeah, but I don't think he's as good as this Mensa kid. So,
but maybe Miami makes a run at him, man. I certainly wouldn't be surprised. But and I'm not saying you get in a bidding war and spend half your budget on a quarterback. But if you have a guy that you really like, go get him. And if it is Mensa, there's not enough money. It's not too much money. Go get him. You've got to get this. You've got to get that position right. But who's making the decision? We leave it to like Mensa, like Stevie Wonder, as Jimbo used to always say. Stevie Wonder can see that Mensa's a really good quarterback. It can play at this level. He might be the ACC Player of the Year. He'd probably be Haynes King, but he's in the running for ACC Player of the Year. We all know he can play. There are other guys at smaller schools. Think Cam Ward at Incarnate Word. Right. There are other guys out there all over the country that can really play.
Well, the Mesta Maker kid in North Texas.
Chandler Morris, right?
Chandler Morris is at Virginia. Not Eric Mestamaker, Drew Mestamaker at North Texas. His head coach, Eric.
But I'm saying, didn't Chandler Morris play it?
Correct.
North Texas.
Yes, correct.
That's a pipeline.
That guy is the pipeline. Man.
Yeah, man, go get him. Go get him to be your OC. But anyway, what I'm saying is, like, who's going to make that? Like, who decides what money they're going to spend on a quarterback, what money they're going to spend on the receivers, what money they're going to spend on the Deseers or Danzy, or like who's in charge? That's what, after the Florida game and after National Signing Day, that's whatever that is, December 5th. You've got a month. You've got a 30-day window runway to either figure out, announce, or whatever, get all your ducks in a row for portal season. And you don't have to go – luckily, because the defense, if those guys stay, you've got some pieces. You don't have to go replace your entire defense. You've got some potential stars coming back. That's a first for Mike Norvell. His own recruits might end up being potential stars. That's good. And also, you might have a couple linemen that can play, so you don't have to go get a whole new offensive line. You also got a couple receivers that you think you can play. So that's all good. You don't have as many holes to fill, but you've got some really big holes to fill. And who's going to decide who's making these decisions? Who's in charge? This guy? Or are you going to have somebody in place that has a history of, identifying college talent and being good at it and knowing who can play, and maybe getting you a guy like a Braden Fisk, although he was wanted by Notre Dame, right? Like, he wasn't.
And SC. He took less. I mean, he came out and said that he got offered more. And he admitted that he took less to come to Florida State because he believed.
And Jared Verse too, right? Like, Jared Verse was wanted by Ohio State. People knew.
Texas, LSU, yeah. He was. That was.
But Trey Benson.
Correct.
Trey Benson was a good deal. That was off the bot. He was in the
bargain bin.
Bargain bin. Nobody wanted Trey Benson. Nobody really wanted Johnny Wilson. Yeah. And I guess Norvell gets credit for that, clearly. But you're going to need a couple of those. But I just wonder what the org chart is going to be and who's going to be making the decision. It's that's what's so up in the air, and that's what people are, I think, genuinely worried about. Like, was that lip service? Was that superficial?
No.
Or are they really? What is their plan? Yeah. What is their plan? And is it going to be in place Sunday after the Florida game, or is it going to be in place in March, or is it really not going to be in place and you're just making a couple of changes to the coaching staff? I don't think that's the case. I think there will be some real fundamental changes, but I don't know what they are, and they're not telling us. So I guess we'll all find out when you guys do.
Meanwhile, over at Underdog Fantasy Sports, people are picking winners, having fun. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code WARCHANT to score $100 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Again, promo code WARCHANT. Lots going on. It's Feast Week. Starting on the 26th, which is today, through the 30th, check the app daily for special promos. I think you might be able to stack them. So you can use the WarChant promo code and then whatever's going down for Feast Week. Again, it's really easy. You look at a menu of games. For example, let's just look at Georgia Tech. Now, if I want to get involved in this, and I'm a big Jackets guy, and I'm all about my guy Haynes King, I think he's going to rush for more than 65.5 yards against Kirby's defense because I'm crazy. I think I'm going to go higher on that for some reason. And I really like my guy Jamal Haynes. I think he's going to have a touchdown, so I go higher on that. I've got to do at least one guy from Georgia. I got to pick at least one of these dudes. So Nate Frazier is their running back. What about Zechariah Branch? I'm going to go lower on 64.5 receiving yards. So that's that's just an example. I don't know how wholeheartedly I believe in this one, Corey, but that's all I have to do.
I would have done the exact opposite on all of them.
Okay.
So you're probably right. Yeah, I would stick with you.
That's how it works, everybody. Bonus funds available. That would be about a 6.5 to 1 payout. You can flex it. Again, the flex allows you to miss one, but still get a nice multiplier. This is almost a 4 to 1 still, even when you get that flex payment. So give it a try. Underdog, make picks, win money.
Underdog Fantasy Sports must be 18 or older, 19 or older in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 or older in Colorado for some games, 21 and older in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. AI is coming for our jobs. Bots are actively making us fight each other on social media, and a pound of beef costs how much? Life has never been easy, but new stressors definitely complicate things. Oh, and there's you out there having to be a parent in this climate, or maybe you're going through a bad breakup. Maybe you have to manage an ailing, aging family member. You're making do, but might be a good idea to talk some stuff out. Yes, we've got friends, but it might not be the easiest on-ramp to unload all of our problems onto them. That's where Rula comes in. R-U-L-A. Look, if we pull a muscle at the gym, we'll go see a doctor most times. Access to therapy should be treated the same, but there's high copays and long waits. It doesn't make sense for many, but Rula makes therapy simple, affordable, and fast. The average session copay is $15. That's basically the cost of lunch, but instead of a sandwich, you are investing in your own headspace. Thousands of men have already found the care that they need. Don't keep putting it off. Go to Rula.com/wakeup to get started. That's RULA.com/wakeup. Take the first step, get connected. Let's control our mental health.
Last segment of the pre-Thanksgiving week, everybody. I hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving. It's Wake Up Warchant presented by Vitamin Energy. warchantbogo is your promo code. Buy one, get one free. Time for Hoops. Catch the fever. FSU played host to the Roadrunners, Cal State Bakersfield last night. Bad news. Noles were 0 for 15 from behind the arc in the first half. Good news. They went 8 for 17 in the second half, and CSUB was 1 for 10 the whole night as the Seminoles cruised to an easy breezy 89-59 win. 4 Noles in double figures, or double figures as some people like to pronounce it, including a game-high 17 from Chauncey Wiggins, 14 from Robert McCray V and Martin Somerville, both. Somerville, 4 of 8 from three-point land. That's good. Anthony Steen had 13 and 10. The Noles also remained a tasty little bakery. The Tucker Center is going to be called the Bakery because they turned over Bakersfield, speaking of, 28 times. That's excessive. Value the ball, treasure possession. It's incredible. 28 turnovers, 40 points the Noles were able to cash in off of those 28 turnovers. The win moves Florida State to 4-1 on the season. Competition going to get a little bit more stout when they head down to Tampa for the Battle in the Bay. It's a one-off neutral site game against Texas A&M. The Aggies 5-2 under first-year coach Bucky McMillan. I'll be honest, I was in the car most of the night driving to Jacksonville, so that's all we got at this time. We'll try to do better next time. On the way out, Corey, bring this thing full circle. Mike Norvell, if he has to pick a new offensive coordinator, maybe picks himself, right? Take destiny into his own hands. I want to control my own fate. I trust myself. I believe in myself. I'm the captain of the ship. I'm going to be at the wheel if it goes down.
Look at me. Look at me.
I'm the captain now.
Yeah.
So to your rhetorical question from the last segment, who picks the quarterback? Is that the one thing he still would be like, okay, I get it. I'm all about it. Let's have a GM. Let's have a portal department. Let's have a high school scouting department. But if I'm going to call plays, like, I need to pick the quarterback. I get it. I get about him taking if he's going to take fate in his own hands and decide to call plays again, I think he's going to want to be the guy that picks the quarterback.
I guess, but I don't know who would tell him no. I would hope. I mean, he's got bosses clearly. I would hope one of them would be like, well, you don't get to. He, as we all know, he hasn't earned the right to be the coach. He certainly hasn't earned the right to pick the quarterback. He is over since he's been here. Jordan, he didn't even want Jordan Travis.
Correct.
Like, let's remember that. Now, he knew he was good halfway through 2021, it seems like. But before that, he was not a believer in Jordan Travis either, and he had watched him practice for a full year. And he thought McKenzie Milton. Now, Jordan Travis was the starter, but because McKenzie Milton threw some throws in a fourth quarter against Notre Dame, all of a sudden, McKenzie Milton's the starter. So he didn't really believe in Jordan Travis. And then other than Jordan Travis, it's been awful. Awful. The evaluation, the development, however you want to frame it, or it's just been horrible. And I don't know why he would even want to do it. Like, at some point, he might question himself, like, I don't know what I'm looking for. Let me find somebody that does know. Let Jimbo do it. Pay him like a daily fee. Consulting fee. He can be the quarterback consultant just for just to pick who his new quarterback should be. But because I don't – there's got to be somebody else helping Norvell or somebody else making that decision. And again, you might be able to get a quarterback where anybody can identify it, and you don't need a QB whisperer to figure out who can play. Like, again, there's quarterbacks out there that you know are good. We all know are good. It would be a huge upgrade. But there are other ones that are below the surface or smaller schools or playing at smaller levels, which might be awesome. They might be incredible. But you need somebody that can identify that. And I don't think Mike Norvell has earned the right to make those offers and to make those decisions. If he wants to get Darian Mensah, then get him. Everybody can see that. But short of that, or the kid from Cal, I don't know, man. I wouldn't want him to be the final word on quarterbacks because, yikes. By the way, speaking of North Texas, it looks like their current coach, Chandler Morris's dad, is the front runner to be named the Oklahoma State head coach.
Wait, his dad's not the coach. What did you say? Something about North Texas?
Yeah, isn't that Chandler Morris's dad?
No, Chad Morris is his dad.
Well, so it just happens that guy's name is Morris too?
I mean, it's America. It's a common name for the white folks.
It's not that. I mean, they're both at North Texas. Morris is all over the place there. Good grief. That's crazy there's so many Morrises there. But, yeah, so the Oklahoma State is focusing on hiring North Texas head coach Eric Morris. Brent McMurphy reports. Wow. So I would think, this is just the way my brain works, that means that, who'd you say the OC was with the son that's the quarterback?
I don't know.
You just said his name.
Mestamaker? He's the quarterback. He's a quarterback in North Texas, though. He's going to probably go with his coach to Oklahoma State.
Oh, I thought you said his dad was the OC. I don't follow North Texas that well.
I don't either, but I follow the sport because I love it.
Okay, so his dad is not a coach.
Correct.
So, yes, he might go with it. Well, he might. I don't know. I would think Florida State would still be more appealing than Oklahoma State. But, yeah, he knows he can play in that offense. So, yeah, Oklahoma State probably just got their quarterback. You can take him off the board because he probably will go play in the Big 12. Mm. But anyway, I thought that was – we just talked about North Texas quarterback. Right. He probably – well, he's definitely going to be on the move because his coach is leaving. Not his dad, though. But not his dad. His dad or his brother Chandler. I can't believe there's Morris. I knew Chad Morris. I know Chad Morris. He was the OC at Clemson. Yeah, I know. And he was the coach at North Texas, right?
No, he was at SMU.
Oh, okay. There you go. It's like they replaced the Morris with another Morris. Reminds me of the great band Duran Duran. You know that. You know them, Aslan. You remember them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
A lot of hits. A little interesting tidbit about Duran Duran. I'm sure I've mentioned this on the show 3 times. They have 3 guys in the band. There's only 5 guys in the band in Duran Duran. Yeah. 3 of them have the last name Taylor. Oh, yeah. And none of them are related.
That's a common name.
That's
crazy. That is crazy.
It's a band with 3 Taylors and none of them are brothers. They're not even related. It's like they went in the yearbook and it's like, he looks like he could play keyboard. I like his hair. That's a cool scarf. Let's join a band. Let's make a band. That's nuts. The three guys, the last name Taylor, all in Duran Duran. None of them were named Duran. They should have been Taylor. But none of them are named Duran or Taylor. And they're not related. Just crazy. Anyway, sorry. End of the show. Are we doing one tomorrow?
We are.
Okay.
We're not. We're going to do one on Friday. I mean, we're going to convene probably before Thanksgiving to do the show, but we're not going to release it until Friday. Oh, by the way, I finally found this because we do need to go, but just food for thought. So quarterback's not been a great thing here, clearly, right? Like even the guys he misses on, like, so Chris Parson was a guy that they wanted to be in the 2023 class. He ends up like decommitting. He goes to Mississippi State, flames out. They get Brock Glenn instead. I was looking up Chris Parson. He's actually an Austin Peay. He's a Walter Payton finalist this year. He's had a really good year. He's thrown for 3,000 yards, 23 touchdowns, only 5 picks, and he's rushed for 743 yards and 14 touchdowns.
Okay, so you're saying
maybe you were right on that one, Mike. Maybe maybe bring him into the fold. Maybe he's a rich man's Tommy Castellanos for us. 5'11", 224.
Oh, all right. I was hoping a little bigger, but that 5'11", 224, that's a tank.
Yeah.
All right. And he's run for 14 touchdowns? Okay.
743 yards, along with 60.
But there's a lot of good quarterbacks out there.
There are a lot of good quarterbacks out there.
Yeah.
There are. Let's figure it all out.
Go find one. Go find one.
Hey, everybody. Have a happy Thanksgiving on behalf of all of us here at Wake Up Warchant and warchant.com. He's Corey Maslon. Thanks for listening to Wake Up Warchant, presented by Vitamin Energy, Warchant BOGO. Do it on Black Friday. Get that free polo.